You guys doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live. I have the new updated numbers of the coronavirus. We are now approaching 1,000 deaths. We are now at 906 dead, 40,234 infected, of which 6,315 are in severe condition, and 3,281 have recovered. These are the latest news updates that have just gone public. Of the 40,000 cases, 39,852 are in China. Out of the 906 deaths, 904 are in China. The second most country is Japan with 96 cases. Singapore with 43 cases. Hong Kong with 36 cases. Thailand with 32 cases. South Korea with 27 cases. Then Taiwan with 18 cases. Malaysia with 17 cases. Australia with 15 cases, Vietnam with 14 cases, Germany with 14 cases, USA with 12, France with 11, Macau with 10, UAE, United Arab Emirates, 7, Canada now 7, UK has 4, Philippines 3, including a death, India has 3, Italy has 3, Russia has 2, Spain has 2, Nepal has 1, Sri Lanka has 1, Cambodia has 1, Finland has 1, Sweden has 1, and Belgium has 1. There is a full list of countries and territories, which is now 28. The incubation period is anywhere from 2 to 14 days. The fatality rate is estimated to be 2%. And the transmission rate is estimated to be 3 to 4 people for every person. With 906 deaths, the novel coronavirus 2019-NCOV has now surpassed MERS, final toll of 858 deaths in 2012. 3 new cases in Singapore out of 43 cases, 6 critical in ICU, 6 discharged. 1 new case in the UK, the first in London. 1 new case in Spain. The novel coronavirus has already overtaken the total case count of SARS, 8,096 cases worldwide on January 30th. So these are live updates, and I love bringing it to you guys first. Love to know your guys' opinion on this. The numbers just keep going higher. Dynamic Beast says, I'm pretty sure those numbers in China is higher. It's just interesting that every single day these numbers are getting higher, and they're getting higher, and they're getting higher, and they're escalating and escalating and escalating. 906 dead, 40,234 cases worldwide, of which 6,315 are in severe condition. Thank you guys for joining. This is breaking news. The new numbers on the coronavirus: 906 dead, 3,281 recovered, 40,234 infected, of which 6,315 are in severe condition. Kenneth Baker says it's going to get ugly in China. I think it's already ugly. 906 dead, and this number keeps growing. Yesterday, when I brought you guys the news, I don't know if you guys were watching me live. I brought you the new death toll yesterday. At this time, it was 803. Today, it's 906. I don't know if it's just me, but these numbers are growing bigger every single day. And the amount of cases is now 40,000. That's a big number. I don't know what the real numbers are. I can only report to you guys what the news agencies are reporting. And they're reporting that there are 906 dead. That's almost 1,000 people. That to me alone is a big number. Sherry says China Tesla donated a lot of money to help. That's great to hear. It's a terrible situation for those people that are in the middle of this pandemic in China and all over the world that are being affected by this. People being affected on cruise ships, people being affected that are doing business with China, people being affected in Wuhan, in Hubei, where this originated. My heart goes out to those that are being affected by this. May all of those that have passed rest in peace. May all the doctors and nurses that are dedicating their lives, putting their lives on the line, some of which are not even getting paid. They're doing it to help the people, are dying. True heroes, putting their lives on the line to help others, to save humanity. We are living in a crazy world in 2020. We just started a new decade, and now we have to deal with a global pandemic that is shocking China right now. 906 dead, 40,234 cases worldwide. Most of those are in China. Over 39,000 are in China. 3,281 have recovered, and 906 are dead. Hello?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
I'm live right now.
Oh, do you want me to call you back?
No. So I'm doing an update right now. 906 people are dead, and over 40,000 are infected with the coronavirus. And I don't know if you remember yesterday's numbers, but when I was talking about it yesterday, it was 803 dead. Now
30,000, right?
And now the next day we're at 40,000 infected and 906 dead. So is it just me, or are these numbers like escalating very quickly?
Well, yeah. I mean, 40,000 infected, and over 900 dead. Yeah, it's growing pretty fast. I'm sure they have it all under control, though, don't you think?
Well, I think that they're trying to control it the best they can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like Kenneth is saying, I seen a video of machines spraying massive amounts of some kind of disinfectant up and down streets of Wuhan. I saw the same video. So they're trying to do everything they can. They're trying to do everything they can to try to get it under control. But the question is, are they getting it under control? And what are they doing to get it under control? And is it going to help? Because based on the numbers that we keep seeing daily, the numbers keep getting worse and worse, scarier and scarier, more and more frightening, and more people continue to die, and more people continue to get infected.
Out of those 40,000, how many are like really severely infected?
6,315 are in severe condition, and 906 have died, and 3,281 have recovered.
Okay, so the number's a little bit bigger on the recovering side than the perishing side. Well, that's a good sign, I guess. But still, at that rate, 40,000 infected. Holy man, that's like...
Yeah, but remember, there's
the last week and a bit.
3,281 have recovered, 906 have died, but 6,315 are in severe condition.
So that could potentially be 6,000 plus dying.
Correct. So when you're saying
Wow.
3,281 have recovered, okay, good, but there's still
Versus
40,000.
7,000 I could
There's still
potentially die.
40,000 infected, 906 dead. So the way I look at it is there's 906 dead, 3,281 have recovered, but out of the still 40,000 that are infected, how many of those will die? We don't know. That's all
But that's
speculation.
huge, though. But that's huge. And if you look at it, that is huge. That the number of recovery is in the thousands, and the ones that have passed away are still under 1,000. So that's good news. The fact that there are people recovering from it at ground zero, so that shows you a little. You guys have a little bit of faith that everything will be okay if they can nip it in the bud to control this, right? So that's a good thing, actually, Rich. That's actually some good news. The fact that the news turns, you look to the other side and say 40,000 infected. Yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, that was like a week and a half ago. It was at, what was it again?
Oh, these numbers are just escalating. I mean, 2 weeks ago when I started, there was 1 dead and there was 300 infected.
300, yeah.
Now we're up to
now it's
9.
40,000.
Now we're up to 906 dead and 4,000 infected 2 weeks later.
Wow. And then what's happening? Like, so people are like still having to stay in their homes. They must be running out of food source. They must be running out of money. They must have to be able to get back to work. Like, this economy is probably just tanking, right? And for some reason, we don't see it happening in the stock market. This is just so odd, don't you think?
Well, it's called quantitative easing. The Federal Reserve is just issuing money to the American government, and they're using that to pump up the markets to make sure that the markets stay strong.
Well, I guess that's why we have a reserve, or they have a reserve. Yeah, that's. I guess that could be the only explanation, because realistically, it would definitely have to do a dent in the stock market if no one's working over there, right? So
yeah, everything's shut down, and everything's shut down until they figure out a solution for this problem, because they want to get people back to work.
right.
I was speaking to one of my friends.
They're going to spread it. If they don't take long enough, then it's going to spread rampant again.
I was speaking to one of my friends that was in China yesterday, and he said to me that everybody's worried, especially financially, because the price of food is going up. The fact that people are not working, obviously people are not making money. And so when you're not making money and the price of food's going up, something's going to give. People are staying at home. They're wearing their masks. They go shopping. They buy food. They go back home. They stay indoors. They don't go out. They don't go to work. They're just staying indoors. So right now, there's not a lot of productivity in that country, and that's the largest economy in the world. So when you've got the largest economy in the world and it's just not operating, the losses on a daily are in the billions, maybe the trillions. So how long can this go without having an economic collapse? Obviously, the amount of losses that the economy will feel, specifically in China, remains to be seen, but it's going to be catastrophic. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I can't see it being any other way. Like, yeah, that's a big predicament to be in, man.
And when people start having no income because they're not working, because they're at home, because they're afraid of dying, and the prices of food is going up, and then people go to the store and then the price keeps going up, and then they no longer can afford it, what are they going to do? They're going to starve. So then that's going to cause a whole nother problem.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of issues that are going to be generated depending on how long this plays out.
Yeah, the snowball effect for sure.
Now it's okay. Now everybody's off the streets. Everybody's at home. Everybody's quarantined, which is good. But now the question is, how long can they do that? How long can they stay in their quarantines without panicking, without coming out, without going back to work? And how long can the economy withstand this massive financial catastrophic event?
Well, not long. I mean, I can't say for too long. So let's say the month mark. I mean, the 1 month mark would be, I would hit them pretty hard still, just at the 1 month.
Yeah. So I mean, this has been happening for a few months now. Everyone's been off of work and been kind of in quarantine, I would say, for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and how it plays out. But like I said, my prayers and my heart's with everybody that is being affected by this. It's a terrible situation, specifically for the people that are at ground zero in Hubei province of China and in Wuhan specifically. And there are now 906 reported dead and 40,234 infected with the coronavirus. 6,315 are in severe condition and 3,281 have recovered. Those are the new numbers that have been reported. We are breaking this news live. We are bringing you this news every day first. And we just want to know your opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think this is serious? Do you think this is an isolated incident just with China that they have to worry about? Do you think that this is going to affect the rest of the world? So far, most of the deaths have happened in China. So there's only been 2 deaths outside of China, and those were in Hong Kong and in the Philippines. So a lot of people are not currently that worried about this outside of China, but there are people that are starting to get concerned about this. People are starting to get masks. People are starting to talk about it more and more. And I think it's important that we spread the knowledge and the awareness of this illness because so many people don't believe it's real. And when I speak to people about it, they think it's just something that's being blown out of proportion so that media can sell newspapers. But when you see that there's 906 people that are dying in China, how can you say that that's being blown out of proportion? That's a big number. Any way you slice it,
a huge number.
Any way you slice it, 906 people dead is a big number.
Yeah, for sure. And everything that okay, the number aside, okay, that's like huge. But like, what about all the things that are being and have been shipped out already? Like, things that can maybe contain the virus where it's going to another country, another continent, we have to still figure that out at the same time, we have to figure that out. I mean, we have to figure out how to come up with a solution to fix this problem. I know people are saying it's going to take years to come up with a virus or a vaccine or something along those lines, but that's in a few years. So I think what they're doing is they have to do that. They have to quarantine 60 million people in order to get rid of this. I mean, I think it's important because it can run rampant for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we were very lucky that this virus is not in our communities, but what happens if and when it does show up in our communities? And what are we going to do to protect ourselves from that? And is there anything that you're doing to protect yourself from that? That's the question I have for you guys. So the new numbers are 906 dead, 3,281 recovered, 40,234 infected, and 6,315 in severe condition. What do you guys think about this? This is the coronavirus. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I predicted it would go into 100 countries. I predicted that the numbers were higher. Jared's been with me. He's been predicting that the numbers are higher as well. And every single day, the numbers continue to grow. So I'm not here to say anything other than what I'm hearing in the mass media. And there are some reports that the numbers are higher. We've talked about it a little bit. I don't want to create any panic. I'm not going to sit here and talk about what it could be every day. And I'm not here to create a conspiracy theory conversation. All I want to do is just report on what the mass media and what some alternative media is reporting and get people's opinions so we can get down to the truth. The reality is every single day I come here and every single day the number of deaths have been growing and have been growing at a higher pace. The new death toll is now 906. The recovered is 3,281. The infected is 40,234 and the severe conditions are 6,315. If you look at the chart of how the cases have grown, it's going up like this. It's just going up straight up like this. It's very scary. So if we break down all the cases worldwide, China has grown by 2,654 cases over the last day. So they are at 39,852 cases. They grew by 2,654 cases in one day. Japan is at 43 cases. They grew by 3 cases in one day. Hong Kong is at 36 cases. They grew by 10 cases in one day and 1 death.
Didn't Hong Kong, all the medical staff go on strike to try and get their borders closed?
Apparently, yes. I have to read the article to give you guys the real article, but it's something I've been hearing as well, yes. Thailand also has 32 reported cases. South Korea has 27 reported cases. Taiwan has 18 reported cases, including a new one overnight. Malaysia has 17 reported cases, including a new one overnight. Australia has 15 cases. Vietnam has 14 cases, including one overnight. Germany has 14 cases. United States has 12 cases. France has 11 cases. Macau has 10 cases. United Arab Emirates has 7 cases. Canada has 7 cases. The UK has 4 cases, including one new one in London. Philippines has 3 cases. Italy has 3 cases. Russia has 2 cases. Spain has 2 cases, including one new one overnight. Nepal has 1 case. Sri Lanka has 1 case. Cambodia has 1 case. Finland has 1 case. Sweden has 1 case. Belgium has 1 case. It's a lot of places with cases.
A lot of places that have one that have a case. It's a lot of places, and we know how it spreads, right? So that's reported. That's pretty.
What do you think the real numbers are, Jared? What do you think the real numbers are? Tell me.
Yeah, it's just speculating, but it's got to be at least double. It's got to be at least double. If you're, there's a lot of people in Wuhan. You're talking 40,000 people, but I don't know. I could say maybe probably closer to 100. I mean, it makes sense though, right? Like it makes sense. Like when you look at the bigger picture of like how many people are so close to each other there. How could it only be 40,000? And I was saying it was 40,000 when they were saying it was like 2,000. That made more sense. But I mean, I could be wrong. And it could be just 40,000. I highly doubt it. I think they don't want to create global panic. They're just alerting everybody now, and now everybody's starting to take it serious because it is serious. You can die from this. I mean, you can die from a lot of things, but this is just one more thing that you can die from. So, I think it's got to be at least double. I mean, if not triple, if not 10 times. How do you know, right? I mean, you have a friend over there, just outside of Wuhan. Was he saying he was selling masks by like the truckloads?
By the millions. Apparently, China is going to be the largest holder of masks in the world.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Yeah.
So look at this. Cade Licken says reports are 1,200 bodies a day cremated. 1,200 bodies a day.
That's a lot. So
if they're cremating 1,200 bodies a day, and that's a real number, then the report of 906 dead is clearly not real.
Clearly, exactly. So 1,200 a day, that's kind of what we were talking about. But who knows? I mean, we will never know, right? I mean, even if you have people over there talking about it, like, as we're set in our mind, how can we even, is it real? Is it not real? Who's lying and who's telling the truth, right? So,
Tim,
I don't know what to say.
Tim says probably 1 million plus infected. There have been reports that there are as much as 1.3 million infected and as much as 30,000 dead.
Locked down 60 million people. That's what I'm trying to say. They're shutting cities down everywhere. So it's pretty freaked out. It's pretty freaked out, Rich, the fact that these numbers that are even being reported to us through, like reliable resources and are saying now infected 40,000. like 40,000 from 2 weeks ago. It was, a couple hundred. Now it's 40,000. Like, think about it. Like, think about just the lies that they could be telling us. And yeah, right, it could be 1.3 million people infected already. And it makes sense. It makes sense to shut down the cities of 60 million people if 1 million people are infected. It makes more sense, doesn't it?
I don't know what makes sense right now. I feel like we're living in the middle of a horror movie. I can't even imagine what the people that are living in that part of the world are going through. I can imagine that the stress will only get worse. I think that you're going to see businesses are going to go bankrupt. People are going to go broke. People are going to starve. Prices of food's going to go up. People are dying. People are getting infected. Now 906 dead reported. 3,281 have recovered. 40,234 are currently infected, of which 6,315 are in severe condition. And the question is, how many that are in severe condition actually get better? And if that is none, then we could see as much as 7,000 dead very soon. And this is what I'm concerned about, is what are the real numbers? And they could very likely be higher because every day the number of dead goes up. Every single day the number of dead has gone up. We haven't seen one day where the number of dead didn't go up and the number infected didn't go up for the last 2 weeks. So the way it's compounding and the way it's multiplying, what could possibly we see by next week? I mean, it's pretty scary when you think about it. Like, in 1 week, will we have 100? Do you notice that, or is it just me?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can just watch it unfold, right? So, yeah, a lot of numbers, man. A lot of people. I don't think we're getting the right numbers. I really don't think we're getting the right numbers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe that the numbers are real. That's what everybody's saying. So
I don't know about this. Yeah, it could be like, I know you don't want to talk about it, this conspiracy theory of population control. I mean, it's just theory. Wow, what a way to do it, hey? That's freaked out, man. Taking out that many people. Just messed up.
Yeah, I don't want to believe that that's the case. If you go to the World Health Organization, or you go to the CDC website, Center of Disease Control, they are essentially saying that this came from animals and that animals are carrying this virus. Animals like bats and camels. That's what they talk about on their website. They've done a lot of research on this, and that's what they're suggesting this came from. Obviously, some others are saying that it's a bioweapon, it's man-made. There's a lot of different reports. Everybody has their own opinion. I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. But when you go to the World Health Organization website and you go to the CDC website, Center of Disease Control, they are insinuating that this is coming from animals and that animals have coronavirus. And that this came from humans that are essentially eating animals like bats and camels. This is what they are saying is the source of the outbreak. Now, there's different opinions, there's different rumors, there's different conspiracy theories flying around, but that is what the CDC and the World Health Organization is reporting. And you can see it right on their website. Kenneth Baker says market in Wuhan is the origin. Yeah, it was a seafood market. They call it a wet market. And there's all kinds of animals there. And apparently that's where this started. Aaron John says research. You will see pretty Asian women eating bats like it's KFC drumstick. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own things that they eat. I'm not here to judge people based on what they eat. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure that that's something that people eat in other countries too. I'm not here to judge what other people eat. I think this is a very sad situation, and I don't want to make light on it. I want to focus on the news, focus on the stats, focus on the real situation at hand, that is that there are people right now living in hell, and the economy of the largest economy in the world is going to be dramatically affected and has already been dramatically affected. And the question is, how much longer will it be affected, and how much damage will this cause both to the people of China and the rest of the world, and to the economies of China and the rest of the world?
Right. Now, again, back to the conspiracy part of this is crowd control. If it is crowd control, don't you think that we have a long way to go? To take out 1 million people, it doesn't really do anything for crowd control when you're talking 1 billion people, right? So, like, how far can this go if we're getting fed the wrong stuff, like what's actually happening, right? So, I keep going back to that because it's like, you get hearing this about this biochemical warfare. This is a man-made thing. Like, how could this just slip and just fall into the hands of somebody that's so careless that now it's already affected 40,000 people?
Yeah, Eason Poston says they are now saying China GDP is expected to be 0% for the first time in 30 years. So that's obviously going to dramatically affect their economy.
Hi, Sherry. Yeah, it's definitely going to affect their economy for sure. And we're, like you said, or the states are probably just in the reserve funding to keep the stock market where it looks like it's not being affected. So it's not such, catastrophe. It doesn't look like it's an actual worldwide problem, right? I mean, it's a very strategic way to do it, is to not create panic until it's too late. It could possibly be that. Yes, for sure.
Well, we just wanted to break and be the first to break. 906 dead, 3,281 recovered, 40,234 infected, and 6,315 in severe condition. These are the new numbers. These are the breaking numbers, and these numbers keep going higher. I went live around the same time yesterday. The amount dead was 803. Now, a day later, the amount dead is 906. It's scary to me that the number of dead keeps going up. First, it was like 1 dead, then it was 10, then it was 30, then it was 50, then it was 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. That's 900 people. 906. So at this pace, tomorrow we will hit 1,000 deaths.
And 6,000 critically ill.
Correct. So at this pace, tomorrow at this time, we should hit 1,000 dead.
Wow.
So is that now something that we need to take serious? Or is this just an issue in China? Thank you guys for joining. Please, guys, smash the like button. We are live bringing you the breaking news, the big new numbers, which just keep going higher. 906 dead. Please, guys, smash the like button so this video goes viral and other people can know the real numbers and people can learn the truth. 803 yesterday. Today, it jumped to 906 dead, 40,234 infected, 6,315 in severe condition, and 3,281 have recovered from the coronavirus. This number has only gotten bigger over the last 2 weeks, and I believe the number will continue to grow at an alarming pace. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for the 29 likes. Let's get more likes, guys, because the more likes we get, the more people join, the more viral this video gets, the more people can be involved, and the more opinions we can get from people all over the world, because I want to know, what are you guys doing? Is there anything you guys are doing? Is there anything you're changing? Are you buying masks? Are you afraid? Are you scared at all? Does this not affect you at all? Let me know where you are. Which country are you in? Does your country have any cases? Are you not worried about this in your country? Are you worried about this in your country? Is there anything you're doing to change your daily routine? Or is this just an isolated incident in China? Please let me know. Love to hear your opinions. Love to hear your feedback. That's what makes this community such a great community. While we go live, we get you guys involved and you guys become a part of the show. So if you have a question, please drop your question. If the question's a good question, if it's entertaining, we'll read it. And you get a chance to be a part of the show and have a voice. Onion Ring says masks aren't going to do any good. AA says, are they increasing the numbers to have us scared? I have heard on DW News that it's stabilizing. I hope it's stabilizing. I hope it's stabilizing, but the number of dead continues to rise. So that's something that is alarming to me. And it's something that we're going to continue to talk about. And I hope that this number can find a way to stop growing, but it continues to grow at an alarming pace. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, what are we going to do about it? What can you do about it? What you can do is take precaution. Then masks. I don't know. What can you do about it?
I don't know. This is why we're talking. I mean, some people are saying you can start storing food. People are saying wear a mask. People are wear a Hamzat suit, full body suit. There's a lot of different things you can do, or you could just do nothing and hope it goes away.
Like most people will, right? Like most people will.
Kenneth Baker says they would severely underreport to keep this from becoming financial crisis. Absolutely. Financially, the economy is going to take a massive hit. It has already taken a massive hit. And it's not just the economy in China, it's the economy all over the world. Essentially, businesses that are run by Chinese people are starting to suffer all over the world because of fears of this outbreak. Old man Jintaki says, just stay home and avoid contact. That is one of the best things you could do. 100%. Eddie Venom Brock asks, is there a vaccine? Not that we know of at this point.
Well, they were stating, yeah, it might take a couple years to find the vaccine.
Sherry asks, what stocks have medical masks? I think there's a stock called ATP or APT. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there is a mask stock that you can look at for sure.
Also buy goggles. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, that's how it's transmitted, right? You get too close to somebody. Oh, man. 40.
Yes, 3M. Dan Valletta says 3M is also making stocks. It's a stock, and they make masks. Five Finger Limited says pre-markets all down. U.S. Black Swan event. Yes, and gold has been going up, and so has Bitcoin. So I'm anticipating that the markets will be red tomorrow due to all of this news of the coronavirus that is spreading everywhere.
Yeah, it's spreading everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, this is, wow, 40,000 people. 40,000. And you know it's double, at least double. So, wow.
Yeah, Eason Pausin says it's APT from $3.50 to $6 in 4 weeks. There you go. Mass stocks.
Yeah, invest in some mask stocks.
Elizabeth Dunk says, I went out to get antibacterial hand gel. Couldn't find any in about 5 different places. Only the really small ones. UK. So I think everyone is on edge quietly in a very British way. Yeah, I think people are just taking precaution, which is not a bad idea. It's better to be safe than sorry. Marshall Mullen says, Gilead. Gilead's vaccine is being tested now. Yes, Marshall, you're very smart. Marshall, are you in China? You're in China, right, Marshall? Please, if you are, let us know what it's like right now, bro. And how far you are from the epicenter, because I believe you are in China, right? Sherry Levy says, I'm staying in my house. Stay safe, Sherry. Stay safe.
Yeah, smart. If you have to, yeah, definitely.
Marshall Mullins says yes. So yeah, so Marshall, you're in China. Is everything okay? Like, what's it like over there?
Whereabouts are you?
Is everything under control, brother? I hope you're okay, man. Jay Supply says, what's going to happen to AEMD? They halted trading on Friday. I don't know. It's not looking good, though. Marshall Mullen says, I am currently in the Fujian province. Is everyone staying in their homes there? And are you seeing prices of food going up over there? And are you seeing everyone wearing masks over there?
The whole country is in lockdown.
Yeah, see? So the same. So Marshall is also in China. So I had another one of my friends that's in China. And they're saying the same thing. It doesn't matter where you are in China. Pretty much the entire country is in lockdown. Yes, money is flowing into Bitcoin. I've been calling Bitcoin since it was at 6,000, and that wasn't too long ago. And the other stock that you should look at if you're into Bitcoin, but you don't want to get a wallet and you don't want to get into the blockchain or into cryptocurrencies, you could buy GBTC. And if you want to buy Ethereum, you could buy ETCG. Marshall Mullen says, no problem with food supply now. Marshall, are you noticing that the food prices are going up? Because I have a friend of mine who is on the border of China and Macau, and he's saying that the prices of food have gone up.
Everybody's wearing masks. I guess you would have to, right?
Marshall says the factories are starting to go back to work next week. Yes, that's what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing a lot of people are worried that that's going to create another wave of the outbreak. Marshall Mullen says, yes, food prices are rising. So this is the issue. People are not working. They're apparently going back to work soon, but they're not working yet. They're losing money there, and the prices of food is going up. So at what point does this start to really have a huge economic effect on the people and the businesses that are trying to sell the food that have nobody buying the food because people don't want to leave their houses? Marshall says all are required to wear masks. Yep. It's crazy. It's what I've been hearing. Yeah, the Hive stock, if Bitcoin goes up, Hive will go up. Onion Ring says a cheaper option is hooded Tivik suits. You can get them at paint shops, Home Depot, Lowe's, etc.
Yeah, but okay. There's certain suits that have that rating, like the hazmat suit, where like particles that are like super fine, like paint particles that are super fine, can seep through that material, right? So again, as well with the masks, you can't just go and get a cheap mask because it's really nothing. It's not going to do anything. So yes, you have to get to the proper stuff in order for it to actually even work if you are going to go out and purchase all these things.
Marshall is saying temperatures are being taken at all car stopping points. Guys, Marshall is in China. Marshall says no one is panicking, but it is the only topic of conversation. Well, I can't imagine. I can't even imagine what it's like over there. And have you heard, Marshall, that the buildings are being locked and being welded shut so people can't leave? So the infected are being left to die in these buildings. And Is it true that there's buildings that are being burnt? Like they're burning buildings? I don't know if you've seen this, but there are all kinds of weird reports that are flying around everywhere. And there's even reports of mass graves, people being burnt in mass graves. Have you heard of that, or have you seen any of that? I know that they're probably trying to protect all the people from seeing any of this. Marshall says, I do not think that is true. Yeah, see, that's what my friend was saying too, that's living there. He doesn't believe any of that is true either, because he hasn't seen it. But there are a lot of videos that are circulating, and nobody knows if they're true or not. It seems very inhumane. Marshall says there's a lot of BS on the internet. No, I agree. And this is why I like to speak to the people that are actually there. You guys know best because you guys are actually there. Greg says Chinese information is heavily censored, Rich. Agreed. But when we're talking to people that are actually there and they can give us the real lowdown, I would trust them over media outlets that are not even there. Yes, apparently right now there are no cases in Africa or South America yet, which is odd. But
It's awesome.
Well, it's awesome, but it's odd that it's not there and it's everywhere else. But I don't think it'll stay like that for long. No, Marshall is not in Wuhan. Marshall says Chinese New Year just ended yesterday officially. What a nightmare of a New Year these guys have had, eh?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I must be going through a lot, especially at New Year's, trying to break into New Year's, and then all of a sudden, boom, the whole country's on lockdown for a virus. Yeah, that's a great way to start the New Year, for sure.
Marshall Mullen says there are 5 cases in my city. Have you thought about leaving? Do you plan to leave? Do you think it's going to get better? Do you have confidence that things will improve? Or are you thinking about finding a way to get out of there? Seems to me like you're going to stay there, but Marshall says, yes, this New Year's was a bust, but the Chinese people are very resilient. That's exactly what my friend said. You know, he said, the Chinese people love their people. They're going to work hard for their people, and they're dying for their people. They're putting their lives on their line for the people. Marshall says, no, not leaving. So, guys, there it is. I mean, he's there and he's not going anywhere. So if he's not panicking and he's there in China, then I don't think any of us should panic. But at the same time, I think we need to be aware. Five Finger Limited says, be proactive, better safe than sorry.
Better be safe than sorry. Yeah, go get yourself a mask. But only in high volume crowds. Just be on the safe side. You don't even catch a cold, right? So take precaution, most definitely.
I don't think anybody really knows 100% where it came from. I think there's just speculation. A lot of people are saying it came
from Oakland, Michigan.
There's a lot of people saying it came from a bat, but I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah, Joe Cracker says 40,000 out of 11 million in Wuhan. I don't know. But
Stephen Mason says we have one friend 500 meters from ground zero. Both her parents died, and she doesn't know if she has the virus. Wow, that's scary.
How does she not know?
Probably because she hasn't been able to go to the hospital because the hospitals are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Marshall Mullen says there is a big shortage of masks here. Yeah, because everybody wants one for sure. Onion Ring says, I saw a video of a biosuited man stop a pickup with a big steel box in the back, grab a man and woman and stuff them in a box and lock them in and drive away. I saw that as well. I don't know what that was exactly.
Yeah, I saw that too. Someone was walking down the street and they basically detained her. That's basically what it came down to. They took her and threw her in a back of a truck that had a cube. So yeah, that's how they're picking people up off the streets over there. That's just crazy.
Peter Chung says Chinese government knows, but they will never let us know the real facts. Five Finger Limited says bigger and bigger every 12 hours. Every time I report you guys the numbers, they're higher.
Yeah, every day they're growing. Every day.
Beach Life says Africa has lots of cases. They don't even have the proper testing kits there. In so many Chinese in Africa. Flor de Oro says, dude, you think this bioweapon targets a specific race ethnicity? I don't think it does. Everyone's going to have their own opinion, but it just happens to be in China. That also happens to be the most populated country in the world. So it's a very scary situation. And the amount of dead and the amount of infected is going to become astronomical. J Supply says the Simpsons show predicted this. Did they predict this? They predict everything else. Beach Life says Japan cruise ship had over 70 cases. Don't go on a cruise. I agree. I won't be stepping on a cruise. Marshall Mullins asks anything else you want to ask. Guys, Marshall is in China right now. If you guys have any questions, please bring up your questions now. What's the media like saying there, Marshall? Like when you watch the news, like what are they saying? Are they saying that they're getting close to finding a cure? Are they saying that, that things are going to get better? Or are they talking about like the dead a lot? Are they talking about the infected a lot? Is it around the clock talk in the media, or is the media trying to focus on other things? Like what's like the media like in China right now? I'd love to know what that's like. Just like what the feel is, because over here it's like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's updates and news about this epidemic. Marshall Mullen says the media reports every day. They seem to report the truth. So are you getting the same numbers as me? 906 dead, 40,234 infected, 6,315 in severe condition, and 3,281 recovered. Are you getting those numbers? Marshall Mullen says it is the only thing they talk about. Yeah, I could see. WeChat is their Facebook. Does anybody have any questions for myself or for Marshall Mullins? Marshall Mullins says here it is broken down by province and city. Good question, Michelle Clark. How do the people that live paycheck to paycheck have money to eat under 3 weeks of quarantine? Very, very crazy situation. Later, Jay. Anthony Alvarez says, hey, Rich, I was at our shopping store and everyone was shopping for N95 masks by the hundreds. Wow. Marshall Mullins says they are resilient. Definitely. Marshall Mullen says, people life always finds a way. Anthony Alvarez says, our friends just sent 10,000 masks to China. Wow. Greg G says, if coronavirus comes in volume to the US, it will be chaos, especially considering people own guns here. Luis Velasquez says, hey, Rich, if you haven't already seen the 2011 movie Contagion, very similar, if not exactly what is going on now. It was started by an infected bat that passed it on to swine. Interesting. Thanos says, dude, bioweapon. Wuhan was closed down to study it in a closed and controlled environment, but they infected other people to see the rates of infection in other countries. Big Deneen says, I think it started in the lab. Marshall Mullen says, I am out. Have a good one. Thank you, Marshall. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for your feedback, man. Thank you guys for your 41 likes. I appreciate you guys. We are breaking the news. 906 dead. 40,234 infected. We broke the news first on YouTube. These are the new updated numbers that are being reported everywhere. 3,281 people have recovered. 6,315 are in severe condition. These are the most up-to-date numbers that I have found. Let me know what you guys think. This is Rich from Rich TV Live, bring you the news. The coronavirus, it continues to get worse. It continues to spread. It continues to be worldwide breaking news. Over 25 countries infected, 40,000 cases, and now 906 dead in 3 countries. Anthony Alvarez says, Rich, has big old Dookie made any updates? You know what? I haven't checked. I just want to be careful with bringing up these crazy numbers because I don't want to create chaos or panic. And my friend that was in China was like, bro, stop reporting numbers that are not true, man. So he got kind of angry at me. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to leave it alone and try to report the numbers that are being reported and through all the major media outlets because I don't want to create any panic and fear. Let's just talk about what everyone else is reporting. Despite the fact that there is alternative news outlets that are reporting higher, scarier, more frightening numbers, at this pace that we're at, we'll be reaching those numbers anyways. Because it seems as though these numbers continuously are growing and escalating every day, which is not okay. And my heart goes out to those people in China, in Wuhan, Hubei, and the rest of the world that have either died or have been infected with this terrible disease, this virus. My heart goes out to you guys. I can't imagine what type of hell you guys are going through right now. And I wish you guys all the best. All right, guys. I got to run. We've been live for an hour. I just wanted to bring you guys this news. If anything else happens that's breaking news, I'll let you guys know. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, your late night vampire, bringing you the news. Bring it to you first. 906 dead, 40,234 infected, 3,281 recovered, and 6,315 in severe condition. We brought you this news first. We broke it first yet again. I'll try to be back with any other breaking news as it happens. My heart goes out and my prayers go out to everyone that's being affected by this terrible tragedy. May all of those that have died, all 906 in 3 different countries, rest in peace. And for all of you that are infected, I'm praying for you. Hopefully you pass through. Hopefully you get through it. Hopefully you get over it. And hopefully you get better and you can be back to being healthy, and be around your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Thank you guys for watching. This is Rich from Rich D Live, and I'm out. Peace. Stay safe, everybody.